small desert town of Texarkana, where the nights were long, lonely, and the masked murderer known as the Phantom Killer roamed the streets. It was like a real-life horror movie, except scarier, because it actually happened. 8 people were attacked, 5 killed, and the whole town was left shaking in its boot. The influential 1976 film, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, was based on these true events. And get this, the tagline of the movie proudly proclaimed that the killer was still lurking around Texarkana. I mean, who needs sleep anyway, right? But hold on a second, folks. Despite all the mayhem and terror, no one was ever brought to trial for these gruesome murders. So here's a thought. What if the Phantom Killer was just a really busy guy, busy committing crimes elsewhere? Maybe he took a vacation from Texarkana to pursue a different career path, like professional cupcake baking or something. It could happen. But today, my dear friends, we're not here to discuss the killer's potential baking skills. No. We're here to dive deep into the truth behind the Texarkana fandom. So grab your popcorn, turn off the lights, and let's get into it, shall we? It all started fateful night in February 1946 when a young couple, minding their own business in Lover's Lane out, the irony, encountered a hooded stranger with a flashlight and a gun. Now, a flashlight and a gun may seem like an odd combo, but hey, different strokes for different folks, right? The hooded stranger ordered the couple out of their car, claiming he didn't want to kill him. Well, that's reassuring. But guess what? He went ahead and attacked the poor guy, basting his skull with the gun barrel. Ouch. The girlfriend didn't escape unharmed either. She got a bonk on the head and was then told to run for her life. Talk about a romantic evening gone wrong. Now, this first attack showed some serious signs of uncertainty and inexperience on the part of the fandom. It's like he was a newbie in the crime business, still figuring out the ropes, but don't worry, folks. He quickly leveled up his game. Just a month later, another couple fell into his clutches. This time, there were no survivors. It's like the fandom decided to up the ante and go all in on the murder game. Talk about dedication to your craft. And the madness continued. More victims, more gunshots, and more fear. The Texarkana Daily News even gave this elusive killer the catchy name of the Phantom Killer. But let's take a moment to appreciate the survivor in this whole story. Katie Starks, bless her brave heart, managed to live through a brutal home invasion. She was shot in the face, and the bullets took a wild journey through her cheek, jaw, and teeth before deciding to settle down under her tongue. Ouch. That's a dental nightmare right there. But here's where things get interesting. After that terrifying incident, the Phantom vanished. Poof! Gone into thin air like a magician pulling off a disappearing act. And guess what? The stolen cars in the area suddenly became a hot topic of conversation. It's like the fandom had a side gig as a car thief. Yeah. Talk about a man of many talents. But hold your horses, folks. The plot thickens. Our hero, Arkansas State Trooper Max Tackett, noticed a connection between the stolen cars and the murders, and then lo and behold, a landlord named Jim Mays came forward with some juicy information. His tenant, UL Swinney, had skipped town without paying rent. That's considered a crime by Arkansas state law. But wait, there's more. Mays had seen Swinney driving a stolen car on the night of one of the murders. Well, what a coincidence. And then, in a stroke of luck, the stolen car was spotted in a parking lot. But here's the kicker. A woman named Peggy Stevens Swinney, newly married to Ewell Swinney, showed up claiming the stolen vehicle. I mean, talk about bad timing for a honeymoon, am I right? But wait, there's even more. Peggy, the queen of unintentional confessions, spilled the beans to the police. She knew details about the killer's deeds that only the killer or an accomplice would know. It's like she was the fandom's personal diary, but with a really bad cast of loose lips. And get this, she couldn't account for her husband's whereabouts during the times crimes were committed. Yeah, the case of Peggy and, well, the dynamic duo in crime. It's like a listed version of Bonnie and Clyde, but with fewer car chases and more hotel room drama. I mean, who needs a romantic getaway when you can argue about money and leave your spouse alone in a hotel for hours? That's true love right there, folks. And talk about a crime scene makeover. Peggy, the queen of cleanups, wiped away Ewell's blood with a towel and conveniently left it under the mattress for investigators to find. It's like she wanted to make their job easier. Here you go, officers, a nice little souvenir from our little rendezvous. But wait, there's more. Peggy's sister, the fashionista detective, found a shirt that was too big for UL, but had the laundry mark of the victim's family. I mean, who knew laundry marks could be such a fashion statement? And those metal fragments on the shirt, just a little reminder of the victim's workshop, for that personal touch. Let's not forget Peggy's confessions, because nothing says happily married, like admitting to being an accomplice to murder. Oh, honey, how was your day? Mine was great. I helped you kill someone. It's like they were playing a twisted version of Guess Who, with the police revealing all the gory details. But here's where things take a hilarious turn. The criminal mastermind gets caught trying to sell a stolen car. I mean, come on. Well, you couldn't come up with a better plan. Maybe a lemonade stand would have been a more inconspicuous choice. Buy a car, get a free criminal mastermind. And the authorities, in their infinite wisdom, decide to charge UL as a habitual criminal instead of going for the murder charges. I guess they wanted to avoid the risk of a jury dismissing the case. Imagine the courtroom drama. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we present to you the case of the Phantom Killer, who is also a habitual car thief, but let's not focus on that, shall we? And so, Well gets sentenced to life in prison, but wait, there's a plot twist. 26 years later, his conviction and sentence are voided because he didn't have an attorney. It's like a legal loophole saved the day. Sorry. Well, our bad. You can go now. But don't worry, folks. Justice was served in its own twisted way. Ewell lived long enough to see the legend of the Phantom Killer reach the silver screen. I mean, talk about a movie marathon in prison. And the filmmakers, bless their creative hearts, took some artistic liberties with the facts. Who needs a gun when you can have a pocket knife attached to a trombone slide? It's like a deadly musical instrument, the stuff nightmares are made of. But let's not forget the controversy. The tagline of the film, claiming the killer still lurked the streets of Texarkana, caused quite a stir. The city officials were not pleased, fearing it would spread fear among the community. I mean, who needs a slasher movie when you have the real-life fear of a looking killer, right? But fear not, dear audience. The filmmakers made some changes and removed the still lurking statement. I guess they didn't want to be responsible for any sleepless nights in Texarkana. You got to hand it to them. They knew how to listen to their critics. So the legend of the Phantom Killer lives on, both the history books and on the silver screen, a tale of crime, drama, and a touch of humor, because sometimes you just have to laugh in the face of horror. The Town That Dreaded Sundown, where, the film and reality seem to blur together like a bad dream. It's like Halloween meets a Texarkana history lesson with a dash of controversy thrown in for good measure. But let's start with the annual showing of the original film in Spring Lake Park. It's become a Halloween tradition, attracting hundreds of eager spectators. I mean, who doesn't love a good scare in the park? It's like a spooky picnic with a side of horror. And here's the eerie part. The park is not far from one of the actual crime scenes of the Phantom Killer. It's like they're saying, come on down to the park, where terror once reigned. I don't know about you, but I prefer my park outings without the lingering specter of a serial killer. Now, let's dive into the big question. Was Will Swinney the Phantom Killer? It's like a game of Clue, but with a lot more real-life consequences. Some say he fits the description. A school dropout with a questionable moral compass. But the courts didn't buy it, denying his claim to infamy. And here comes the conspiracy theory. Did the town and its mayor see an opportunity to cash in on the success of the film? Did they go after the deep pockets of the movie industry like a pack of hungry wolves? I mean, who can resist the allure of tourism dollars, right? It's like a horror-themed cash cow, right? While the town of Texarkana continues to embrace the legacy of the Phantom Killer, it's clear that the truth may never be fully known. The blending of fact and fiction, along with the economic implications, adds an extra layer of mystery to the story. Whether Will Swinney was the Phantom Killer or not, one thing is for certain, the legend lives on, captivating both locals and horror enthusiasts alike. Furthermore, what do my dear cadavers, Think of this true crime story. Was you, Swinny the elusive fan of the killer, is the town's economic woes really linked to its traumatic past? Or is it all just a clever ploy to milk the success of a movie? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, share and subscribe for more spine-chilling content from the Dr. Creepy Show.
If you like this type of content, check out our other videos based on true accounts. We cover everything from ghosts, poltergeist, time slips, the strange and the unusual, and even your favorite movies.